La 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 la
Hey,
la
folks.
la
I'm
la
Camille Who
la
Armstrong,
la
the
la
performing arts
la
Renaissance woman.
la
For over
la
40 years, I've worked
la
as a
la
performer, educator,
la
consultant,
la
and
la
coach.
la
But
la
most
la
importantly, I'm a parent. From classrooms to stages to bedtime routines, I've spent my life nurturing creativity, character, and connection in the next generation. This series is for you, whether you're expecting, learning as you go, or parenting for the first time, or even third time around. I'm here to share the insights, tools, and real talk I've gathered over 4 decades of hands on experience. Welcome to Camille Who, the Child Whisperer. I'm so glad you're here.
Hello, hello, hello. Camille Who Armstrong here. And we're talking about mealtime today, okay? Mealtime training. What do I say about training? There's good training and then there's no training at all, which in turn is bad training. So whether you want to admit that you are training your child or not, or whether you want to approach the topic of training your child or the concept of training your child or not, if you refuse to do so, you are still training your child. Anything that is a routine, that is every day, is training. So if you neglect it, you know, you are choosing your child's fate. It's really how it goes down. Wouldn't you rather try your best and put systems in place? And if your child goes left of it, then it's not because you didn't try. It's not because you didn't try your best. It's not because you didn't implement systems and create boundaries and enforce those boundaries. It's not because you said, yeah, it's no big deal. Training? I don't know about training. You know, you things are going to people are unpredictable. Humans are unpredictable. If you try your best with any situation, there's gonna be something that goes wrong. I get that. But I'd rather it go wrong because I'd rather it go wrong because it was unpredictable and anything could happen, and I still did my best, rather than it go wrong because I didn't do my best at all or I just didn't try at all. And at the end of the day, after raising a child, you want to be able to look yourself in the mirror and say, I tried everything. I did the best that I could for what I knew. Okay. That being said, me going off the rails here about training, this video is about mealtime training and teaching etiquette at an early age for your toddler. When your toddler, and probably before then, you probably will have a 7-month-old or 8-month-old that can sit at the chair at the table or a high chair, and they can pick Cheerios up and they can pick up goldfish or little pieces of fruit and things like that, and they can do, use their pinchers, and they can use their fingers and pick up the food and feed themselves. That is a great time to start your mealtime training. So like, just I'm going to give you just a few simple things that you can put into place that will really reduce the amount of stress that you have at your dinner table, at your mealtime tables, at your meal times. I gotta say, when I started hearing of how regular it is that people's children throw food at the table, I was shocked because I came from a family where that was unacceptable. You were not throwing food at a table. And I grew up I grew up and then I had my own children. And of course, because that was a part of our training, my children were not going to throw food at a table. So when I heard this, and I realized a lot of people go through this with their children, and I'm like, how is this happening? And that's simply because there's training. that has to happen. What was normal for me and how I trained my children, it was normal for me, it was the standard for me, but I didn't realize how many parents don't realize that or don't know that there is that they can set that standard and then they can put systems in place and that they can enforce it so that their children are not throwing food at the table. Here's the downside of not teaching your child good manners at the table, and that is the fact that they develop unhealthy habits. They want to snack all the time, they want to run around the house with food, which leaves a trail of a mess that a parent has to clean up later on. And there are way too many things to be done around the house than to be walking on crumbs and having to add that to your list of things to do. Clean up the crumbs, clean up the sticky food off of a rug. This is something you can avoid. You really don't have to have that in your life. A child who's a picky eater, who's less adventurous and won't try new foods. You have behavioral challenges where they don't respect mealtime. They want to get up, they want to go somewhere, they want to climb over the table, they want to get your food, they want to throw things, throw food. I still, to this day, I'm just like, ugh. Just the thought of that. Tantrums, all of these kinds of these behavioral issues that can start at a table. Whew. And remember, charity starts at home. Whatever you train your child to do at home, which is their very first institution, they will carry that everywhere they go. If you bring them to a restaurant, if they go to school, if they go to church, if they go to a family gathering, they will take those manners with them. Another thing is it creates social setbacks. You have struggles in your restaurants, in your schools, in your church, at family meals, etc. The benefits of having table manners or teaching table manners is that you have healthy eating habits. Your child knows this is where we are. This is what we're doing when we are here. We don't get out of our chair. We don't cry and scream and have tantrums. We don't try to pick our food up and throw it. The food is for eating. So whatever's put in front of us, we eat the food. It goes into our hands, into our mouth, into the fork or spoon, into the mouth. And that they learn very early without even understanding that that's what they're learning. If you hand them something new to try, like, okay, well, we're sitting at the table, so this is what you do. You eat. They're more likely to try new things, and they're not trying to snack throughout the day. Usually when they're snacking throughout the day is a lot of times because they didn't eat properly at mealtime. And so they might be a little cranky or, and want to snack all the time. Also, let's see, another benefit for teaching your child good table manners is peace. It's peace. Enjoyable meals. And those peaceful, enjoyable meal times become the best family times that you can have. Because everyone respects the space, they respect what they need to do, and then you can have, as your child grows, you can have those conversations about, so how was your day? Tell me one fun fact about what happened today. What did you learn in math? What did you learn in gym? I don't know, whatever conversations you want to have around the table. My family was a very busy family, and that was one of the most enjoyable times. We would all come together and we would all eat a meal. No one was standing in front of a TV eating. No one was sitting somewhere else. Like we all sat, all of us gathered in all of our busyness. We all stopped, gathered, ate dinner, and we had great conversation and we had a lot of laughs and we shared stories and we shared our experiences. The same thing with my children. My goodness, we'd probably sit at the table for like another 20 minutes after we ate our meals, just picking each other's brains and sharing stories. And of course, because I'm a musician, We made music at the table. Someone started some beat, another one added to the beat, another one added to the beat. And this is as my kids got a little bit older, like elementary school and middle school. We were jamming around the table. But it can be such a peaceful, enjoyable time around your table if you just start there, right? From age 7 months old, 8 months old, with these kinds of habits. Also, when a child learns manners, when a child learns boundaries, when a child learns certain routines, they're just more confident. They're more confident in social settings. They're more confident when you go, and you as a parent, you know that when your child goes to a friend's house, you know that they're not going to act out at the table. You know that when it's time to eat your child, you can be confident that your child is going to sit there and eat food while you watch other people's kids act a fool around the table. it's it really just builds your own confidence as a parent. And your child also kind of looks around and says, whoa, that child is throwing their food, mom. That's dad. This is not okay. They start to realize that what they're doing versus what, a child who doesn't have that kind of training is doing. They notice the difference. And naturally, we tend to look at something that's positive and something that's negative, and we go, I don't want to be that negative thing. You tend to go, no, I don't want to be that person, because you realize how much of a disruption it causes, how the vibe changes in the whole room and the whole area. Maybe a child can't explain that, but they can feel it. And so they tend to choose, I'm just going to go with what I do, what my parents do. All right, so let's see. What you can do is when your child is sitting at a table, something so simple. I know that parents want to, I don't know, I think they want to distract their child or give them something to do while they're waiting for meal prep. First of all, prep your meals in the day. Prep them, have them portioned out and in the fridge. So you have maybe 2 or 3 of those meals and covered. And maybe you have some fruit, maybe you have some veggies. However you do it, have your meals prepped at the beginning of the day, because that really cuts down on the time that your child has to wait for you to prepare food. Sit them at their high chair, or the chair that there's these chairs that connect to your kitchen island or your table, and there shouldn't be anything in front of them. If there's anything in front of them, if, say, you didn't portion out their meal and your child has to wait until you get that together and then heat it up or whatever you have to do, then give your child 3 goldfish or 3 Cheerios, 3 something, right? I would say no more than 3, because it becomes a lot. We're going to have a tendency to make a mess when it's more than enough. So if it's 3, that's just okay. All right, I'm going to eat this because when I sit here, I eat things. That really should be the only thing that you put in front of your child, not toys, not cars, not mom's pens or pencils, which are choking hazards and eye poking hazards, by the way. I advise that you have a clear table. Have a clear table. This is one of those things that your child notices. They see it every day in their daily movie, and they see that the table is always clear because it's a place for food, not for toys, not for, I don't know, whatever kinds of things that people tend to put on their dining room tables. Keep it clear, right? Make that the space for only food. The child then learns to wait. They learn to wait. So that's patience. That's a life skill that we all need to learn. And it's not an easy thing for any of us to learn. But patience is something that if you can sit and you can wait for your food to come to you, that's a skill you're learning at 7 months old, which you kind of think that kids don't have that capability, but we do. We little humans have that capability to be trained positively. So they learn patience, they learn to respect time, they learn to respect rules, and yeah, they learn to not be disruptive. They can sit and they can have one, two, three. If they go empty, and while food is still being prepared, then you get your three more, something that's not going to fill them before mealtime, because that's another thing you want to be careful for. You don't want to fill them with a snack, and then mealtime, then their food comes, and then they don't want to eat their food, right? So you don't want to overdo it. If their food is already prepared, you sit them there, and that's it. You can talk to them while this is happening. I'm going to go heat it up. I'll give it 10 seconds. 10, 9, 8, whatever you do. Narrate what you do, because they are learning in this whole context the things that you're doing on an everyday movie. This is their movie that they're watching. Their everyday habit. This is what's happening. Okay, mom does this when she makes my food. This is all routine. It's all good training. And all right, it's all ready. Okay, we have to blow it. We have to blow it. It's a little bit hot, 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 hot. You want to teach your child hot. You want to teach them blowing so they can learn to cool. These are also great patience tools. And do it every time, right? Consistency is key. Doing these things every day creates the daily life movie that your child is watching. If they watch this movie over and over again, they tend to repeat this movie. And if you're repeating negative things, your child is going to repeat these negative things. If positive things are being repeated in their movie, they're learning positive things, and they just repeat it before they fully understand it. Then they realize, wow, it's kind of like me repeating the good manners thing at the table, and I didn't know. I just thought everyone did it that way, and then I taught it to my children, and that was just a norm for us. And then I realized, oh wow, there is another way. There's another way. No table manners. Yikes, and so this is, and so now I understand. As an adult, I understand, okay, some people taught it and some people don't teach it, and some people don't know that they can teach it, and that kind of stuff. And I also have grown to understand why it's important to have these good table manners. Saying please and thank you, these are all great things to implement in your everyday mealtime routines, okay? Keeping it simple and keeping consistent. And let's see. Ooh, bonus. If you choose to play some music at the meal table, I would suggest smooth jazz, because it's not music that's going to get them super hyped up. It's not music that's going to make them fall asleep. It's I like to look up on YouTube dinner jazz. And then you come up with stuff that's like 10 hours long. But this is a really cool way for your child to sort of mellow out and learn that this is the vibe for mealtime while they're waiting and waiting for their food. And they get their food and they eat their food. Dinner jazz is playing. They're kind of, jamming, but like not jamming out of their chair. All right, so that is it. Mealtime etiquette for toddlers. I hope you like this video. Please hit subscribe if you want more insights. And when more videos come up, which they come up once a week, new videos, but you can always just look at my past videos, because I really, my passion here is to help first time and expecting parents on their journey, on the beginning journey, to get them really set up with the right mindset to raise their children with confidence and joy. For more information, you can look up CAMILLEWHO.com. It's in the description, but CAMILLEWHO.com/better parent better future. I'm looking to make you the parent better, so that you and me can make the future better. We can impact the future by starting with our children. Starting with our minds, what we know, how we can learn the tools that are necessary to implement them with our children, and in turn, creating children who become leaders and problem solvers, creative thinkers, and just people who impact the world in a positive way. I'm Camille Who Armstrong, and I am out of here. See you in the next video.
Thank you so much for watching this episode of Camille Who, the Child's Whisperer. A heartfelt thank you to the generous supporters of the Books and Beyond campaign. This series wouldn't be possible without you. If you're a new or expecting parent, I created Better Parent, Better Future just for you. I empower first-time parents to embrace a positive mindset and navigate those early parenting years with confidence and joy. Click the link in the description to learn more or to find out how we can work together. Until next time, keep showing up, keep growing, and keep leading with love.